Hello everyone. Hi Louis, Ariane, and Pigstream. How are you doing, guys? I'm a little bit early, just a few seconds. But yeah. All right. So today, well, I just saw you yesterday, but today is going to be making up for yesterday because yesterday I set a goal for the live stream, in terms of super chats, and it was met. Like you guys completely exceeded it. Thank you so much about that. That was very generous of you. And so I had a reward for it, and my reward was to watch one of my oldest videos with you guys. So I forgot to do that yesterday, but I think it's probably for the best, because now we can have just a live stream about it and not have that at the end of a book club and make the book club live stream even longer. So I think it's a lot better this way, anyways. But sorry about that. So yeah, let's start. And also let me know if the sound is good and if the sound of the video I'm watching is good as well. So this is my very first video, was published in March, yeah, first of March 2023, last year. A lot has happened since then. A lot of changes. So hi, this is Lucy. And so you'll guys see I was very rough at editing and I was very rough at my outreach. I don't agree with most of what I did back then. And also I just want to say real quick that what I'm going to say, I mean, also I think it's more likely that I'm going to be more critical in terms of like the way I express myself, because it's myself. I feel more comfortable doing it like a little bit more harsh. But just keep in mind that I wouldn't say these things necessarily to a new activist. Like I wouldn't say it like in a harsh way or something like that. It's just because it's myself, so obviously it doesn't really hurt my feelings if I laugh at myself or something. But of course, like we all make mistakes and we all like try to be better at any point of our activism. And I'm going to look back in a year, hopefully, with shock at what I'm doing today in my activism. So and my messaging. So there's that to keep in mind. So it's not about being perfect. Don't let this deter you and be like, oh, I'm just gonna like feel bad about what I did. It's just about doing a little bit better, and learning together. It's not. Do not let it discourage you. So here we go. So hi, this is Lucy, and this is yes. All right. I really appreciate you. By the way, I started on campus, and I had to do like a freaking model release form because the people like like the administration told me to do that. Meaning they had to sign a freaking form before starting the video with me, so it was already a barrier. So I don't recommend adding a barrier to that in this way. So campus can be tricky because of that. So make sure you know what you're doing, if you need a model release form or not, because the administration of the college might be not happy with you. So yes. Hey, turning veganies and Ali, and yeah, thank you for being here, guys. Let's go. You accepting to talk with me? It's really really nice. I have 3 questions for animal lovers. Are you an animal lover? Yeah. So this is the first thing. I started with that. I believe it was because I got this from Cliff Grant and also a very vegan mom. So of course I understand why people do that. Because you're trying to appeal to people's values and what they care about themselves, etc. But the problem I have with that and why I have stopped using that is because like if you make veganism about loving other animals, it sounds like something that it's not about the moral baseline. It's about like what you could do if you feel like it, if you care about other animals, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't ever go there anymore. I think, yeah, what I do in my current outreach is that I ask them, have you ever felt a connection to another animal? But that can be tricky as well. But the reason I do that is because I try to make people connect to the individuality of these um, animals, but I don't want them to think that it's about whether you like them or not. Like, you don't have to like someone or never, never mind love them to just not exploit their bodies and not enslave them, like it's a very weird mentality kind of thing um to think that it's about love veganism when it's just a moral based on just leave them alone to just don't exploit their bodies, etc. So yes, that's why I stopped using that. Lover?
Yes.
Awesome. So the first question is, what do you think about animal abuse? And this is the very first time I filmed, by the way. I was so scared I almost had a heart attack when I left the house. It's very scary, but if I could do it, and I'm not like I have social anxiety when I'm with people, and I don't feel comfortable necessarily with strangers. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. Like you can do it. It's normal. It's very normal if you're a new activist, especially know that a new activist, especially outreacher. Just know that it's going to be very, 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 very scary at first, and for a long time, it was very, 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 very scary for me. Only very recently, actually, like this month, I noticed just this month that when I went and did outreach, I just didn't care as much in the sense of like it didn't feel like a matter of life or death. And so I feel like I was much less nervous for some reason. But you just get used to it. You get used to anything, and it can be very scary for a long time. So yeah, just do it's normal and just push through it, and you'll be okay. And people who abuse animals?
I think it's very sad.
Animals? So the first question is, what do you think about animal abuse and people who abuse animals?
Uh,
Okay, again, this is to show you I used this stuff for a long time, so I really understand why people use it. It's just that when you say abuse, people will directly go towards the conditions of the slavery and not the slavery itself. They will think, well, we're not using them correctly because abuse really means that. I mean, I know that vegans, we're trying to say basically that using them is abuse, but that's not what people register necessarily. Apart if you're saying it like that, but like again, they would have an argument with you maybe on the semantics of it, like is abuse like is it abusing if you think that this is the use of other animals, is it abusing them? Well, what we're trying to get at is that it doesn't matter what you think about them. Like just like if you thought that using other humans was okay, it's just not okay. It doesn't make it okay if you think it's okay to use other humans. Same thing for other sentient animals. And so, yeah, I don't want to even risk that because it's not really necessary to say abuse. We could go like, I prefer honestly talking about enslavement or things like that so that people kind of get the idea much more accurately. It's less dangerous, I think.
I think it's very sad, and
Can you hear, guys?
and I'm not sure why people do it. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. The second question is, do you think harm or abuse or exploitation happens in animal farms or in slaughterhouses?
Yes.
That's an interesting question because said harm, abuse, or exploitation, and it's like, well, obviously exploitation always happens, but you're kind of making it sound when you say that. I think like there is a possibility that on in a place of animal exploitation, because they don't see those places as places of exploitation necessarily in their mind. Um, but there are like animal farms or any place that exploits animals in any way, there is exploitation, but people don't necessarily register that. And when you say, do you think there is exploitation on there, I think it's kind of giving them like a possibility in their mind of, oh, maybe there isn't, yeah, like it's I don't yeah, it could be confusing. And harm, I don't ever say harm anymore really, because veganism is not really about that at all. And I don't want people to conflate, and at this point, I didn't know the original definition of veganism. I didn't really understand like, why it's not a good idea to go like in the harm thing, even if it matters to like reduce the amount of harm we inflict on other animals when we, for example, build houses or like the crop death thing. It's important to differentiate between that like improving this, and the moral baseline, like obligation of being a vegan, meaning not using other animals as objects or slaves. So if you're saying like kind of like if you're making a message about harming other animals, I understand, because of course you're trying to like show how straightforward this concept is of like, why would you do that to someone else, right? Because when you're obviously enslaving someone else, you are harming them. But the thing is, there are ways you could harm someone that are like vegan, someone else in sense of like insects, for example, like just crop deaths, all this stuff. And so if you say that veganism is about that, then as a vegan, we wouldn't be able, like it wouldn't be vegan or something to like cause accidental deaths, which is not what it is. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a mess. You just don't go there. And of course, not saying it doesn't matter, and not saying that we shouldn't improve these things. Of course, we should, but it's important to have a differentiation between veganism and that improving that in those ways. So that there's a moral baseline, and then there's the other issue of like, oh, well, what could we do? Um, Veganics, what are your experiences of turning people vegan? Most, I don't know, because I've talked to a lot of people, so it depends on the person. I've had people telling me they would go vegan. Of course, I never really know if they're going to. And then I've had very, very, very intense conversations, like debates where I lost my cool. I've had everything in between, honestly. The usual conversation for me these days, unfortunately, is it doesn't give me a lot of hope in the moment, but then I remember that anytime I talk to someone about veganism, they are exposed to the idea, and that is psychologically, like, it's been studied as the sleeper effect. And it is really something that really has an impact in people's minds. And so it will, like, whatever you do when you are talking about veganism and you're really trying, it's going to have some impact. So it's important to remember that. No comment. No, okay. Okay, the third one is a little bit more touchy, but But that's interesting though, because she did say, like it was like a harm abuse, or and of course, like another problem I have with what I did there is that on when I'm framing it as animal farms and in slaughterhouses, the reason why I did that in the past was because most of animal exploitation, not really actually, but most of the animal exploitation we see in the world when it comes to land animals happens in those places. But it's not even true that most animal exploitation happens, like in general, because fish are the most exploited sentient animals on Earth. Trillions of them. It's not even comparable to land animals. Trillions of them every year are being literally, like, exploited for their flesh and stuff. So yeah, and the thing is, it frames veganism as a diet, and people already think veganism is a diet, when really you could be like exploiting other animals, like by going to the zoo, or exploiting them in entertainment or in laboratories, or riding them, using their skin. Like, you could do so many things with like there's so many types of animal exploitation, um, that yeah, it's not the greatest to kind of frame it like that. So I don't do that anymore. In animal farms or in
Sorry.
slaughterhouses? So she said yes. And so that's interesting, because it's like, well, so you are doing something that is objectively bad, right? And she's being honest. She's being honest, okay? But that's not enough. Being honest, of course, is not enough. We want people to actually change it so that the change can happen, whatever. But yes. No comment. No, okay.
So she is
Okay, the
aware.
third one is a little bit more touchy, but I really get it because I used to. I mean, she's aware. It's obvious that they are being exploited, but when you put it like that and you are saying yes in front of a camera, that means that you are, it's not like like, it and you're still doing it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I was that person. I'm just saying, that's not okay. That for a long time as well. You purchase or eat eggs, milk, cows, pigs, chicken, fish, animal products?
Yes.
Yeah. So here again, framing it as a diet, not
Yes, I
good.
do.
is it okay if I show you a 3-minute video on the standard practices in animal agriculture? Awesome. Sweet. If you feel uncomfortable during it, feel free to let me know and we'll stop it, all right? Because it can be a little.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not saying that because I don't care that, they would watch it all, because I do, but the thing is, like, they're more likely to watch it all, I feel like, if you say that, because they feel kind of respected and like they have the choice. And also it's for building rapport, because honestly, like, they have the power to stop anytime. Like, it's not like I'm gonna force them. I can't really force them because of, I mean, it's not gonna work. And also because of the rapport piece, which is important in persuasion rapport, unfortunately. So yeah, really appreciate you sitting through, standing through all this, because I know it can be pretty hard to watch, right?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel watching this?
Very sad for the animals and the fish and everything that happens to them.
I didn't have, like, I got lucky for my first conversation that was filmed. She wasn't combative or anything like that, or triggered too much. I had outreach conversations before that. I had like a sign, and I went on campus. Why aren't you vegan yet? And I had really bad outreach conversations on campus. But you're gonna have failures, and by really bad I mean, like, I never really know if it's really bad, but I guess it's bad because my messaging wasn't great. But it's not like, you have to do it and then learn through doing it as well. It's also that, honestly. You can't just wait to feel like you're perfect to start. But yeah, I got kind of lucky with her.
Yeah.
If one of these animals in the video could ask you why we do this to them, what would you answer to them?
I would say people do that to animals for money and for our own, like, so we can eat them. That some people try not to support like big companies that do that, and like,
Of course, like, I should have reframed it, but it's because of me as well. Like, I framed it like a diet conversation, like, not a diet conversation, but like it was about diet. So I should have reframed it like, well, of course, when, I mean, most people think it's really just a diet, but really it's the stance against blah 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 and definition, and just give a few examples just so that she knows. And That's an interesting question. Why do you think we do this to them? But I didn't really get too much use out of that question. I feel like it was kind of I was a little worried. Thank you so much, Marcelo. Thank you so much, very much appreciate it. Um, I felt like when I asked a question about, like, why do you think we do this to them, I was a little worried that they would convince themselves of the reasons, why people do it, like them being valid reasons, kind of thing, and kind of reinforcing that. And I don't know if that's true, but I just didn't want to take the risk, and I didn't really see the point. Because people might answer, like, well, we need it, stuff like that, or it's only helpful when they can see, like, they say, well, because they think they need it, or like, yeah, like she said, like, for money, for example, that can be helpful, but it's a dangerous question. What would you say to comfort them? Comfort them? Sorry. Whew. Um, I don't know about that question. I just don't know.
like people who have their own farms and like treat the animals like a animal.
Yeah.
I would say that to comfort them, and that like vegans or vegetarians.
That's interesting, because when she says that, obviously, as a vegan activist, she says, like, uh, people who treat, like, their animals like animals. Obviously, to me, that's a very bad thing, because obviously I know how we treat them and stuff, but like slaves and stuff. But to her, it's like she's kind of highlighting the sentience, and like the fact that they're individuals, so that can be good. But also, obviously, we're going to welfare mode right now. But
vegans are trying to help.
What do you think we can do to help these animals?
I think we can stop supporting like big companies that treat animals like that, and like
Ooh, so I was nodding, and I have this huge problem. Like I don't do that as much anymore, and I'm much better at it. But I mean, I say that, but like I am way behind in the footage I'm posting. So the videos you're still watching right now are like from August or September of this year. And So yeah, I had for a long time I was nodding, because to me nodding means I understand, but like some people might really feel like this is me agreeing with them, and that's really, 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 really bad. So don't nod. Don't nod when people say something you don't agree with. Nod when you understand what they mean, but it's not like something you disagree with, so that they can feel like the rapport is good and stuff. But like, yeah, it's really bad.
like um support like the farms that humanely treat them.
How much of it do you think is factory farms? Ugh. So cringy. Okay, yes. So it's gonna be painful. I knew it was gonna be painful. But like, forgive me, forgive me. This is my first, very first video. But still, really, really, really bad. Really, really bad, really bad. Okay, so basically, yeah, super, 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 super well first. It's very cringy, but whatever. Okay. Yes. So I didn't. I at that point didn't really know why that would be such a problem, because obviously I didn't think it was like I didn't. I wasn't really a welfarist, but I was behaving like a new welfarist. Yes. So don't do that, because obviously then they think it's a matter of conditions for the slaves. So yes.
Like a lot, like all of it.
Pretty good guess, honestly. Yeah. What would be your ballpark?
Maybe like 95%.
Really good. Yeah, it's actually a little over that, I think. Would
Who
prefer buying
cares?
from humane farms. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to appeal to the fact that a lot of no, they don't. Like most people know that factory farming is bad because they understand the suffering aspect, but they don't care enough not to buy it anyway. So whatever, they still support it. But Yeah, it's really bad, because then when you are talking about this welfarist kind of ideas, you're making them feel better about buying free range and whatever else they buy in the film better, is wealth, like animal welfare, labeled animal welfare or whatever. And then they just feel so much better about not having to be vegan, and yeah, so it's really bad and stuff like that, because obviously they suffer less, right? So it makes total sense. The problem is that often what you find out when you research this stuff is that it's way more marketing a strategy than it actually means anything for the animals. Like, all these practices are standard, like across the board. How do you kill humanely someone who doesn't want to die? Okay, so also something I changed is I don't talk about killing or dying at all if I can avoid it. Not because it doesn't matter, it's just because, like, again, it's not what veganism is about. Because, like, for example, like, like the pesticide stuff, of course, like, it's vegan to eat food that was grown with pesticides. Even if vegans are, we would love not having to use pesticides, of course, that would be great. But it's not like we're not exploiting them. And of course, we need it. I mean, we need society needs to get better at technology so that we don't have to harm other sentient beings to survive. That would be great, but it's not a vegan issue. You can't just make everything that's wrong in the world when it comes to sentient animals fit into like the word and the movement vegan, because it's just not like it's not achievable. It's not achievable to like have the moral baseline be like I don't harm or something. And it's like it's a very confusing thing as well if you say I don't harm, because then you would have to be like very, very sustainable things that are not possible for most of the population to do because we don't have the money or the resources or whatever, like the capabilities to do that yet. And yes, whatever. Just sticking to the original definition can help us a lot. Um, and yeah, so I don't really talk about dying and stuff because of that, because then it would confuse them about like crop deaths or things like that, you know.
Um,
Tough.
yeah.
Tough one, I know.
I don't know.
Any?
You don't, I guess.
Do you think we have to
I don't.
eat animals?
I don't think we have to, but I think like some animals, like it's
And again, you know, like it's super vegetarian. It's a super vegetarian question because if you're focused on the health aspect and you're trying to make people tell you if they think we need to use other animals for our health, the way to do it would be, you know, the way I do it is, do you think we need animal flesh or secretions to be healthy? Also, it's good because it reframes it to like call it what it is kind of thing, conversation. So that's really nice. But yeah, but I don't really, yeah, yeah, because this is like vegetarian. And also like we're just again focusing on the diet like crazy.
definitely a source of food, and like even back then when we didn't have a lot of.
Yeah, but Louis, okay, that's I understand what you mean. Not harm, but unjustified harm, which includes exploitation, abuse, wrongful killing. I understand, but the thing is, someone could say, well, if you're buying chips with like that were grown with pesticides and stuff like that, is it really like justified? You know, so one could make, you know, like the argument that it's not justified. Um, so would it be vegan, not vegan then? You know, like it's just a nightmare.
Of these like frozen food options, or like I don't know, we have a lot more access to food than we did back then, and animals were our source of food and clothing. So yeah, I would say, what was your question again?
Do you think we have to eat them?
I don't think we have to, but it's been a thing for a very long time, and I think it's the circle of life, and I don't think we can all survive on just fruits and veggies.
I don't. Do you think it's possible to? Oh, that might have sounded to her that like I'm not vegan. Oh God, I wanted to be like basically telling her that this isn't like just fruits and veggies. Like I don't when it comes to diet, I don't just eat fruits and veggies, but whatever. Eat a vegan diet that's healthy.
Yeah, I do. I just think it's harder.
I don't really say vegan diet anymore because I don't want people to think more that it's about the diet. I prefer to say animal free diet now because it includes everything. Because plant based diet and fully plant based diet. I mean, fully plant based diet I guess is good, but a plant based diet, like you can have a plant based diet that is not animal free. So what would make it?
I think a lot of vegans or vegetarians don't get enough protein, and I know that's a big thing that people who like to eat meat like to say, but I definitely think it's possible. It's just harder to find.
So funny because you know, I mean, you guys know, it's just like it always drives me insane because it's like we actually most people, including vegans and you know, we get like way more protein than we need, and it's just so fucking stupid. But a lot of people think it's just like ads. Literally, it's ads that worked really well. It's a complete lie. And yeah, apparently like this actually it makes you more likely to have cancer to have too much protein. So it's actually the reverse is true, that you getting too much protein is actually bad for you. But wait, it's just, I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with veganism. It's just that it gets on my nerves because I hear it all the time.
Or you have to eat a lot more of a certain food to get the amount of protein you would if you weren't consuming dairy or meat.
Pretty much everybody thinks that. I thought that before I became even vegetarian, and there's like they go crazy when they ask these questions, especially plant-based doctors. Deficient in protein, if you have enough calories. Yeah, my mic wasn't good because it kept shutting off and on because it was too cold. So the people that are deficient in protein are people that are starving, or like people who are anorexic, for example, that don't have enough calories. So actually, protein is one of the easiest aspects of a plant-based diet, I would say. Um, if you knew that you could get all of your nutrients in a vegan diet, would you consider being vegan?
I don't know. I've thought about this before, but
I'm not pushing her hard enough at all, as well.
do love meat. And I think
Ugh, see, like I'm smiling at stuff that I shouldn't smile at because it's not cute. It's not cute. You love the flesh of your victims. Awesome.
there is an ethical way to eat meat. Like I said, like having a farm, like treating your cows like ethically, or just buying from an ethically based farm that you know what they're doing to the animals.
I'll just leave you with that because it's really cold. I know. I really she said she had to go. Appreciate you standing with me. So the last question I would ask you would be it's just like there's no real accountability. Like I'm way too easy on her. That's yeah, I know that. If you could choose to live in a world where you can pay for animals to be hurt, or pay for humans to be hurt, or pay for none to be hurt, which one you be? I mean, not pay, but like like be in a world where you don't have to do that. Which one would you want to be living in? Of course, this is not a very good question, but
where no one gets hurt.
You have the choice right now. Not really. This is bad because obviously this is not going to happen like that because it's always obviously someone we hurt just by living. But you know. Really. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking. Pig's Dream. It's very kind of you, but there's so much outreach, especially older things that I am so not agreeing with that I'm not sure I'd be okay with that because of that. But if you want to make clips from my street outreach that are like recent clips, please go ahead. Just make sure that it's not older because I, changing fast, my opinion. But oh, Louis, we're not gonna get into that again. Let's not. Like we've rested that conversation. Like I understand this is a no, but like I don't want to get into it again. I talk about it too much with too many people. But thank you for letting me know what you think. Thank you, Pig's Dream. Um, well, yeah, but yeah, and I already said why I think it's not a good idea. There's nothing more I can add to it, to be honest. And I don't think it's that nuanced when it comes to veganism. I don't. Even if, of course, the issue of the harm thing is complex and nuanced, but not veganism. That's why I think it's also helpful to keep veganism separate. Okay. Well, guys, I was intending for this live to be short. We exceeded our goal. So I will be making I don't even remember what I said I would do, but let me check. Yes. So guys, we need to vote on a video. Well, I guess Marcelo, let us know what you would like for me to react to, because I guess I could do it now. If you have any idea. It is this video we just watched was from March 1st last year, which feels like 10 years ago. But so Marcelo, which video would you like? I mean, either we do it now or we do it another time. Just let me know. If you don't have any idea, then we'll do it another time. And it has to be an outreach video. It can be me or anyone else. Thanks, Marcelo. Okay, yeah, another time. I agree. So, okay, well, thank you so much for being here, guys, and watching. I will see you soon for a live stream, like for watching that video. It will, if that's okay, Marcelo, will be in the beginning of December because we've had three live streams this month. So, trying to spread it out. So in the beginning of December. And yeah, I'm just gonna thank my members real quick. Thank you, Nick, Hannah, Bako, Mike, Ian, Zen, Boris, Enrico, Wayne, and Kamal for being Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee members. If you'd like to support my activism, feel free to check out the links in the description. There's memberships, like the same memberships and the same things are happening on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. And yeah, thank you for any support. Very much appreciate it. It helps me a lot. Thank you so much. Awesome. Well, have a good day, guys. Please go vegan, obviously, if you're not already. Learn how to get better, but don't pressure yourself out of your mind. So that like you just have to improve a little bit at a time, and it's okay. We all make mistakes. It's just going to happen, and just do activism in the way you can, especially outreach, because apparently it's been like one-on-one conversations have been proven in the political world to be the most effective way to persuade someone. So just do it when you can, and take care of your mental health, because a lot of activists burn out. So do not feel guilty for taking a break, and just be a sustainable long-term vegan activist, and you'll be golden. So thank you so much for all you guys do and for the support. See you next time. Bye.